Welcome back to Building a Tenor Guitar. Today I'm going to be working on shaping the guitar neck.
Building a Tenor Guitar, Part 28 at randallprice.com.
I know it's been a while since the last video in this series. You may be wondering what's been going on since then. Well, I had the opportunity to salvage a barn that was blown down in the storm, and the only thing about it was I needed to get the wood down right away. The owner wanted it cleared out, and I needed to get it done before bad weather, so that's what I've been working on. So here's the guitar neck as we last left it, and what I want to accomplish today is to round over the back of this neck and also taper the heel. First I'll be tapering the heel. This is the top of the heel, this is the bottom of the heel. So I need to cut this at an angle. As you can see, it's not been cut yet, so it'll be something like that. To set this up, I first measured this angle with just a simple protractor, and this is at a 5-degree angle. To cut that angle, and I've set my bandsaw up at a 5-degree angle, I just took the protractor and transferred that angle over to my bevel gauge and used the bevel gauge to set the 5-degree angle on the bandsaw. So I'll move over to the bandsaw with the camera and show you what I got set up. Okay, here I'm at the bandsaw, and it's probably hard to see, but I have this blade tilted to a 5-degree angle, and I have my rip fence set up at the appropriate width. One unusual thing that I've had to do is put this spacer block on my fence. And the reason I needed to do that is to hold the neck out past the end of this headstock. If I didn't have that spacer on there, I'd be hitting on the headstock. With this spacer, I can slide right against the spacer without the headstock interfering with my cut. Now that I got that heel angle cut, I can work on the profile of the back of the neck. And the blueprint has two options for the profile of this neck. One is kind of a V-shaped neck, so it's more angular on the back, coming back to a rounded V. And the other one is just a simple rounded neck. And I have opted to do the rounded neck. You could actually do whatever profile you like and whatever feels best to you, but I just decided to do the rounded neck. So what I did was make a photocopy of the profile of the neck from the blueprint, and I just stuck that to a note card, and I can use this to measure my progress on the profile. So somewhere about here on the neck, I should be able to fit this down over here when I get close to the correct profile. Since this neck is pretty thin, I want to remove as little wood as possible, so I just want to get a nice rounded profile that feels good in the hand, and not remove any more wood than I need to. So I'll be getting to that in just a minute, but before I start on that, I want to make a 1/4 inch thick substitute fretboard to put on the surface of this, and the reason for doing that is just to get that extra thickness in here so I can profile this by feel. Right now this is of course a 1/4 inch thinner than what it would be with the fretboard, so I just want that extra thickness so I can tell what it would feel like with the fretboard on there. So I'll just cut that out of a piece of 1/4 inch plywood or hardboard, whatever I have over here in my wood parts. So I'll go over there, see what I got, and we'll work on that next. Found a piece of 1/4 inch plywood, so I've just laid my neck on there, traced a line along the side, and I'll just take this over to the bandsaw and cut it out. I'll just cut it close and sand it down flush with the edges of the neck. I'll stick it on with some double-faced tape, and that will approximate the thickness of the neck with the fretboard for profiling the neck. If you don't have any of this carpet tape in your shop, I would suggest you get it. I use it all the time. For instance, that spacer that I had over there on the bandsaw fence, I just stuck it to the fence with a piece of this double-faced tape, and then when I was done, I was able just to pull it off. I use this all the time when I'm doing pattern routing on a router. With a bearing guided bit, I can just stick my template to my workpiece and cut the piece out that way. But I just find all kinds of uses for this tape. So just peel back off, flip it over there. So there we go. I've got the neck clamped down to the bench top. I want to clamp this too hard here, or I'll snap the neck. I'm just really kind of using this clamp just to hold it against the bench. I'm not really putting any significant downward pressure on it. I'm using this as a stop block to butt the neck into. Most of my clamping pressure is back here on the heel to hold this down. So I've got this pretty much in place. To shape this neck, I just plan to use just a simple hand rasp and then sandpaper. But this is basically all handwork. I want to get down to this profile. So I'm going to start out carefully. I can easily remove wood, but I can't put it back. So I'm just going to start by knocking this sharp edge off. What I think I'll do is bring the camera around to this other side so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. I think I'll stop, turn the neck around so I'm not taking too much off of one side. I still have quite a ways to go. Turn the neck. I'm really not putting enough pressure on the neck to really need this end block, so I'm not even using it. I just had the thought here while I was rasping along, having to switch this neck from end to end to get each side. If I elevated that up on a 2x4 on edge, I could get to both sides, so that's what I did. Seems to work pretty well. I'm starting to get pretty close on the neck. I'm going to switch over to sandpaper. At least in the center area. I probably need to do a little more work down here around the headstock, and then also I still have to do the neck. But the main part of the neck's getting there. I don't really want to take any thickness off this way, but I got a few little dings in this laminate strip right here. I want to get rid of those. If I tried to sand those out, it would take me forever. Back of the neck looks just a little bit flat to me. I'm just trying to round it off right here. So there's what the neck's looking like. I'm going to get some fresh sandpaper and sand on this a little bit. Then I'll work on the transition into the neck and figure out exactly what I'm going to do. There we go. Find out what I'm going to do there. Then I also have to profile this heel. And so I'll run and get some sandpaper and be right back. Okay, I kind of got down and eyeballed the neck to see if there were any high spots that I needed to remove, and I can see a few. So I'll take those off, and I've turned the neck around. I thought if I had any kind of bias to rasping to one side versus the other, this will kind of even it out a little bit. So I'll kind of clean up these spots that I saw. It's just about sitting on there. That's pretty good. I'll work on this neck transition a little bit. What I'm trying to do here is just kind of round over this, into this heel, round over the neck, and then just kind of blend those two curves together. I think I'm pretty much done. May do a little bit of fine sanding on that just to tweak it, but for the most part that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So that's it for today. Like I said, now that I'm done with this barn salvage project, I should be back to working on this tenor guitar and getting it finished up here in the near future. So stay tuned.